most of the attorneys here particularly concentrate in one aspect of the law. I don't see many attorneys
maybe corporate international
yeah.
kind of thing, or mergers and acquisitions, those kinds of things. But then again, family law only, or maybe immigration, those kinds of things. But how do you do it?
My concern was primarily doing arguing counsel work in the court. So if I would get any case concerning any issue, I could take it up in the Supreme Court or in the High Court. But then my firm had 8 to 10 other attorneys who were doing all kinds of work, including corporate work, including say civil litigation and also bankruptcy or other issues, social issues. But I was like always the senior counsel for arguing those matters in the court. So I could take up any matter, since I was, I could take up a social issue. But what was closest to my heart was issues such as this, which nobody would take up, because those would not fetch us money, but it would give you that inner satisfaction of doing a matter for somebody which would have actually gone unattended. So there was another one such very major case which hit the headlines, and that was when in UP there were people who were claiming statehood for UP, and those women who were,
Uttarakhand one.
They were carrying grass on their head, those women, and then the police was let loose on them, and there was mass rape of women, and also young boys were just buried alive. And at that kind of time, the police involvement was so apparent, yet no cases were being registered against them.
Why?
Because the UP government was there, and nobody could be able to take up that issue politically. And
so
politically,
you took up the case?
Yes. I toured Uttarakhand with the National Commission for Women, made inquiries into what had happened, submitted the report to the Supreme Court of India, and released the report too. And ultimately, with the release of that report, each of those women got compensations, and also at least some action was taken against these people. Otherwise there was nothing on record to even show such a thing had ever happened, because they'd covered up the whole issue as if this thing had never existed.
Oh goodness. And this is a pretty common practice in India.
Absolutely. And those same women today, when I met those women, they were saying they couldn't get married anymore. They were young teenager girls who were raped. God. And what kind of future do you offer to the women today?
Absolutely.
And that also being hushed up, that it never happened. It's amazing that
when a powerful government machinery can hush up things or hide things or bury things, there has to be someone who comes to your aid. You think media has played a great role in helping you in this?
Yes, in fact it has given me a great deal of help. When I've done most of my cases, fortunately for me, there becomes a public trial on the side going on by the press.
Absolutely. Then people are watching and everybody's following the thread.
And once they start following, what happens is, many a time people some of the press people have on their own gone and done some leg working and have helped me. I'll give you an example of this case which I did, the personal point case, where one of the pressmen went and discovered 2 lakh rupees a day from the personal account of that guy who was the murderer was being drawn every day.
I see.
He put 2 and 2 together, and he said when he's in the prison, how is 2 lakh rupees going per day?
From his account.
So you can understand that all these monies are going for bribes and things like that, where situations could be settled under the table.
Under the table. So the press was really helpful in...
Tell us about the Rajiv Institute official absconding, that case. What is so...
Yeah, that was a very interesting case, and I just hit upon it by chance. I was visiting the women's cell where I do a lot of cases for women issues, family issues, and there was a young girl. She came up running to me and said, "Ma'am, I need your help because I've heard about you and there's nobody helping me." So I said, "What is it?" She said that I have come from Benares. There was a guy who brought me from there, and we're a bunch of women, not just me, it's a couple of women, and they've been lured away here for jobs, etc., and we have just been kept captive in the house, and we are being constantly harassed, molested, raped, etc. And I said, "Who is it doing this?" She said, "That is the problem, because if I tell anybody, nobody wants to take action." So I said, "Tell me, who is it?" So she said that guy is the director of the Rajiv Gandhi Institute in India. So when it came to Rajiv Gandhi Institute, it was like a bombshell, because anybody in the police would not touch that case. The police station would not register that case. They refused to believe that girl. They would rather keep her for more and more questioning, and they would try to harass her further. So she had no choice. So when she came to me, first of all, I thought maybe she's telling a lie. because if she's telling a lie and I fight a case like this, it would not be right. So first of all, I told her, would you be willing to say all this in front of a camera? Would you be willing to say what you are so that I have a piece of evidence? Then I'm willing to fight you. She said, yes, I am. So she spoke to the entire
It requires
press.
a lot of guts, and you
she
need to be applauded for this.
Absolutely, and that was one case which from that it started getting unearthed. And once that guy got arrested, it was a chaos, because this question was raised in the parliament at that time.
I see.
The issues cropped up and people wanted to know what's going on, because it was the reputation of the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation also involved through it. And then had it gone a little more further, we would have reached a very big nexus. But unfortunately, in the end, that girl was bought over.
I see.
This
How
is the
did that
strange
happen?
part.
Bought over means
Yes,
what?
because she went about 3 weeks later
Huh.
and withdrew her statement.
Withdrew her statement.
Withdrew her statement.
Oh, that really
This
must
is
have
where
been-
I felt that sometimes when we do work for clients, we do things for people, I would like to do maximum that I can.
all the way.
But
Correct.
then you never know, because what's in people's mind and how they're bought
Why
over,
would
how
she
things
withdraw
change.
it at that time?
But she did withdraw, but that guy was arrested. Because the
He
case,
was arrested.
yes, the case had already
But
formed
she
itself.
had been probably bought.
Bought
uh,
over,
No,
or
no,
what
no,
is the
no,
reason, or she
threatened-
felt it was too much for her to
Threatened,
follow
yeah,
the case.
absolutely. You
And,
know, at some point in time, you can probably make a TV movie here of such a case in the US. Probably nothing of that sort happens in India. This girl would be at most threatened or even be vanquished from the society.
Absolutely.
Nobody would know
Nobody
what
would
happened to her. So probably
And
that's the
luckily for
reason.
me, at least I had that tape with me where she had talked about it.
So-
So at
Otherwise, she
least
could
you
have
had
just said,
some
I
evidence.
never approached
never-
this lawyer at all. She must have made it all up on her
No.
own. So sometimes, you come through situations like that.
Yeah, did you ever come to such a situation in your career? A situation such as what you said. You could have come to that situation. Was there any such instance at all?
Well, no, I've always been,
You've always taken
because-
precautions to.
actually, because I've always stood up for something which I felt from within required me at that time.
And that is a particular motto with your family.
It comes, like you feel so much.
Humanitarian
And all the time when I've taken on a case of a client, it's it's always coming from inside to do something more for this person, so that he's come to me with problem. How can I do away with that problem? If I'm going to add to his problem, or am I going to take away his problem? So it's always been that special concern for that person, and I've gone much, much deeper than just arguing a brief and saying, well, the case is over. I prefer in rehabilitation, going beyond, and then counseling that person if I can. So literally, it never becomes just an attorney. It becomes all the things combined together. You become a counselor, a guide, an advisor. So it all combines when you really are concerned about what you're doing, and you feel for your client. So that's what makes the difference.